For someone that isn't as tapped in as you, what is the first step you can take to being able to listen to your intuition?
I think one of the biggest questions I get is, how do I know the difference between a thought and intuition?
I've honestly always had a fear, not a fear, but a resistance to playing like a leading man.
I mean, we can create jail cells for ourselves with our thoughts.
I've always had partners that were so attracted to me for my talent and success and then wanted to put it in a little box and have it grow no further than that.
And one of the biggest things that holds people back is when you believe that it's not possible for yourself, you don't move towards
You
it.
think that you're just shooting it into the air and no one's ever done it before, when it seems like no one's ever done it before. You go, who am I to do that then? Who is little old me to do this thing that nobody else has done?
Start to trust that imagination actually is a form of intuition.
Oldish, the show where age-old questions meet new-age answers. With your hosts, Randy Spelling, Brian Austin Green, and Sharna Burgess.
Welcome to Oldish.
So this has been a wild month. It's been a wild
has been,
ride.
right?
We have had great interviews here. We've made this our home.
Yeah, and we did photos and all sorts of things in preparation for
Our
the
new
start
photo
of this.
shoot. Our new photo shoot where we looked like we were releasing a country album, you know.
Oh,
Our
coming
magazine
soon.
cover.
Yeah,
It was
magazine
so much
cover.
fun.
It was so good. Can I tell you something about that photo shoot? Well, so we shot with
Brian Bowen Smith.
Brian Bowen Smith, who's this thank you, baby, this incredible photographer.
Incredible.
I had no idea how incredible he was, and Brian was like, he's the best. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, he's a photographer, but like, we did these photos, and I actually had a moment. I was looking back at what he'd taken on the computer screen, and it was the hottest and best I've felt since having Zayn. And I've had photos since then, like the press photos for Dancing with the Stars and the ones on set. And I remember going through them because you go through and you get to kill or keep what they're going to use for putting out into the world. And I was like, feeling bad about my skin or the way something looked like, having these insecurities come up. And then we shot with Brian, and I got emotional looking at them because I felt so good about them. Like, how often do you look at photos of yourself and feel good
He's
about
one of those
yourself?
where literally every single photo, I was saying this as we were doing it, even if I was like mid-blink or like mid-word or like something ridiculous looking, they looked really good. Like I
Yeah.
was like, we could use that one.
You made it
And
look
it's
good. Baby, you look sexy in your photos.
felt
I
sexy.
was
Oh yeah!
like,
Remember when you did the
I'll
black
take that
and
guy.
white? And you
Yes.
did, like, I was like,
Woo, we're putting that one up on the wall
Yeah.
in the house.
Okay.
and I was just the third wheel watching
Stop
this,
it right now.
trying
Your
to look
photos
okay.
were awesome.
Dude, when
loved
I
your
had you
photos.
first come over and I was like, and you were like so kind of nervous. And so we're all, I would say Randy and I are more nervous than you are, baby, because you're really,
Yeah,
just
you're
really
natural.
photogenic and natural. He took literally one picture of you and he was like,
Right.
it's not going to get any
So
better than
sweet.
this. And it was an amazing photo.
Oh, man.
But working with Brian he's so good at building your confidence early on. Like he gives you ideas and notes, and he's very like he has complete faith in his eye and what it is he does. So when he's talking to you and he's got the camera and he's saying, "Oh, that's great," and he tells you, "Okay, turn your head a little bit, tilt it. Okay, don't move." Right. You feel like, okay, I must really be onto something
Right,
because
he's
he
got it.
sounds incredibly excited.
Yeah.
And then when you came over and you looked at the pictures, the first ones that we were taking, and you saw yours, I could see your attitude change about it all. All of a sudden, you got back in front of the camera and you were like, "Cool, let's do
I
more."
was like,
of this."
okay,
you were all,
okay, this
like,
is going
hyped
to turn
up
out
and-
well.
and it's exciting.
Isn't that a gift for someone to be able to create a safe environment like that for you, especially in a creative field, you know, to be able to, he's the best at what he does, but he makes himself so relatable and lovable and, you know, just, you don't feel uncomfortable being in his presence, but he also makes you feel so good, makes you feel like the superstar.
He makes it
and
all about you.
Makes it all about you. And so he creates this incredible space for you to just express yourself.
Every frame with someone new is something new to him, even though he's been doing this for 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that co-creation. And that's kind of what I have felt in the last month doing this. It's been a whirlwind.
With each other.
But the co-creation of, for season 2, really now saying, here's exactly what we want to do. We've had season 1 under our belt, and we really want to give this experience to the audience. We're clear on what this is and
Our
who we
direction.
are. And
Yeah.
This stuff, being in the studio with incredible camera shooting it, and we have microphones with the Oldish name on it. It's the whole thing is just so cool to see, because it's like this, all of us equally created this. It took it took all of us to make this. It wasn't just one person's vision. Everybody else went, oh, that's amazing.
I'm really proud of us, you guys.
yeah.
And for and everyone listening that's like, wait, where do I see it? We are actually on Patreon and we are on Ghost right now. So you get to see our home and actually see the video. And it is really, really fun. So make sure you guys, if you want to check it out and you'd like to also watch your podcast, you can go to oldishpodcast.com and it will have all the info there for you. So yeah, you can come join us on this whole new journey. 3 tiers,
of subscription, and
Because we have all sorts of bonus segments that we're doing, games that we're playing with
Yeah.
guests.
we're also like, we're now coming up with some merch we're going to be selling. We're hoping to this season and beyond do live events coming to cities near you, where we'll be in theaters and we'll be able to have people in the audience and kind of act alongside them. And
We're stepping up.
We're
Okay,
stepping
we
up.
are.
We're doing the
Stepped up.
things.
We're doing
We've
big
stepped
things.
We
up.
grew up.
For you, right?
I
For
grew
We
up
you.
were
a long time
oldish,
ago.
but we grew up, you know?
I'm still growing. So,
Yeah, same.
so
Same.
speaking of stepping up, speaking of growing, what we were going to talk about today is, what are the things right now that are making us feel really good?
Like
I think
the
it's
things we're
important to
doing.
talk about sometimes,
is.
right? Like, hey, what
Sometimes
are
you
you doing?
get so stuck in talking about what's really been hard and what you can work on and all of that. And I think for
Yeah.
people to take a step back and go, okay, I'm just going to look at the things that like really have positively affected my life right now and really feel good and bolster my confidence.
Yes.
I think that's so important, and it's so easy to forget.
Yes.
Randy, what's something you've been doing that's made you feel good?
A couple things. So number 1 is movement. I always move, as you know.
You do.
Randy, you're so fit. You
I-
move. You
thank
move all
you.
the time. Let's be real. You're very fit.
All somebody has to do is follow you on Instagram. It's like, oh, this dude is either out jogging all day long, or you're a movement guy.
It might seem like that. The funny thing is, I mean, I'm no more than an hour in terms of working out, and that might be on a good day. But what I've realized is it helps me tremendously. It's not just I want to be at a certain weight or I want to look a certain way. For me, it's mostly mental and some physical. It is like how people take remedies or supplements.
Yeah.
Working out is a supplement for me, for my mind to function, to be clear, to have more energy. And I'm working with people all day long, so I have to make sure that my energy is up.
Sitting all
Right.
day.
Sitting, right?
Yeah.
But something that I've started working with differently, and this has been fun, is I'm working a lot more with my intuition. And I didn't attribute that to movement. So I do this with clients all day. It's so much easier, as you know, to be something, say something, preach something to
Right.
someone else,
Yeah.
right?
Totally.
How good is your advice to someone else? And then when you take it yourself, you're like, I think I need to do that. So I have been really trying to get more in touch with my intuition and work with that more.
Does that mean like trusting your intuition? I mean, because they
Like,
say
how do you do
everybody
that,
has
you know?
intuition. Is it just like for you a practice of, I'm going to trust my intuition a little more and I'm going to see what the results are from it compared to questioning it and second guessing it before I see what is actually going on?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I think trust is the key that unlocks intuition. I think we all send and receive information all day long. Some people are more aware of that than others. Other people know how to interpret it. For me, I've always been intuitive as a kid, and then I kind of shut that down to just sort of like be normal and blend in, and then I got that back the older that I've gotten and the more clear I've been. So working with people has been a huge gift for me because I wouldn't know the answer a lot of times, or when I'm working with people in a large group, right? Or if I'm doing a speaking event and someone has a question, I have 2 minutes with someone. I can't get into asking them 12 different questions and learn as much as I would like to learn. So what I have to do is sort of like step aside and say, okay, what do I need to know the most? What is the question that needs to be asked here? What's
So then when you're sitting with someone, you're automatically in
comes.
that space of like, I'm feeling like you need a hug. Like, and you know, verbally, physically, like and you kind of trust that intuition.
I do, but a
amazing.
lot of times it scares the shit out of me, and especially early on, because I would see something. I would see a vision of a horse running through a field, or the other day with a client, there was something about a breathing technique with vines. And I was like, this sounds crazy, but I know now to trust it. Earlier on, I would be scared. My heart would start to beat fast because I didn't want to be wrong, or I didn't want to be looked at as he's crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So I would communicate these things, and I'd see a tear coming down someone's face, and it was a memory that they had, or you know, this like the vines thing. I suggested this, and she said, oh, I feel that. I feel that instantly. And I was like, this is kind of cool. I'm gonna write this down. 'Cause
Okay.
I-
Well,